Everybody, good morning. Welcome to the show. On the tarmac, huh? What are you doing outside on the tarmac? Morning, Kimberly, my favorite subscriber. Everett, welcome. Dan, Jeremy, John, Ed, Pat, Merle, dun, 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 Ray, Chris. Glad you made it through the storms, Chris. Kenneth, Mark, Brian, Svenborn, Rosalind, George. Hey, everybody. If you want to chat with me while I'm live, like all these fine folks tuning in, all my fine people, click the button over here in the corner where the crazy monster is. The alcoholic. It's empty. I'm not actually drinking this morning, but thought it'd be fun. I actually had the green monster this morning that is clear and see-through, and I was like, well, that's not going to work so well. Anyway, clear and see-through on the green screen. Anyway, hey everybody, how's it going? So, market, interesting this morning. If we look at the gold rallying off the lows here, look at that. If you didn't know gold was open, well, guess what? Gold futures are trading, and I took a trade. Funny enough, right here, I'll share it with you what I did. Right here. Yeah, about 10 p.m. last night. Fired off. Yeah, last night. And got out about 2 this morning, Eastern time. I only made like $60 on that contract. And there you go. These are points. Just so you know, these are points, not dollars. When you look at futures contracts, if you didn't know you could trade futures options 23/6, well, guess what? You can. And that was catching, I'll show the move I caught. We'll get into crypto here in a moment, but that move was right back here. That one right there went from here right up in there. And I guess it got out on that pop for some reason. Missed the exit there, but it got out right over here. Like right there. Anyway, there you go. Interesting. So, futures moving a little bit. ES churning along, not really doing much, just sideways action. Started, let's see where to open, right? 6 o'clock, we're 6 o'clock, right? All the way over here. Yeah, open up right there and just kind of been sideways, choppy. Kind of expect this, the futures will close at 1 p.m. Eastern and be closed till 6 p.m. Eastern, then reopen for the day tomorrow. So they'll be closed for a few hours today in observance of Memorial Day. But if you really jones in for a trade in the general market, that's why I think it's funny, the whole misnomer about closed for holiday. Yeah, yes and no. Yes and no. But the market that's not closed for the holiday is crypto. And we'll go through some crypto here in a minute. But first, all trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. This presentation intended to be informational, educational, fun, and entertaining. It is not a recommendation to be buying or selling any stocks, options, bonds, forex, futures, cryptos, or treasuries. Don't long them, don't short them, don't trade them. Now think about it. Every trade, there's a winner, there's a loser, there's a buyer, there's a seller. All things being equal, you probably got a 50-50 chance of being right, if not worse, because of all the smart people you're playing against. So it's my mission to try to help give you an edge in the things I see and do. And if you desire personal financial advice, you need to hire and consult a financial advisor. It's not what I do at all, but hey, to each their own. And make sure you trust a financial advisor if you hire them. So right there today, all day, bank holiday, U.S. Memorial Day. Thank you for all those that have served and did serve and gave the ultimate sacrifice of their life to protect the freedoms of this country being the United States. And, that's not a debt that's ever repayable for those of us that are here. So, yeah, today to reflect on that. Looking on down the week, we have consumer confidence tomorrow after the open. Wednesday, not a lot cooking. Thursday, preliminary GDP. That'll probably be a market mover before the market opens. Caution on Thursday. Get some pending home sales after the market opens on Thursday. And then Friday, we have PCE coming in right here. Personal consumer expenditures. That'll be an interesting one too. See if this inflation's really as sticky, and see if they try to quash the inflation that's been creeping back in. I think we're going to see a whole new wave of inflation. It's going to wreck everybody's plans for rate cuts and all this stuff. I mean, a couple of people I work with bought houses, and they're like, I can't wait for these rate cuts so I can refinance and free up some cash. I'm like, hate to break it to you, but we may not get any rate cuts. We may actually get rate raises when the inflation bout comes back around. So be careful out there. And we'll talk more about some of this stuff later on in the week. But welcome, everybody. And I'm glad you're here. It's a light crowd, only about 60 people on the stream. And remember, interact with the video. Make sure that YouTube knows that it's helpful, you like it. So moving on into crypto. And choppy is what I would say on the small time frame here. Looking at total. And this is TradingView right here. This is total market cap of crypto by TradingView's standard. There is no centralized exchange. This is a difficult concept for a lot of people. They think the price of Bitcoin is the price of Bitcoin. Well, the price of Bitcoin's whatever price it is from the exchange you're quoting it. And everybody has a different price. There's arbitration between exchanges. There's no centralized clearinghouse for the price of Bitcoin. So that's difficult for a lot of people to grasp their head around. And everybody asks me, what's your favorite crypto? And then they'll ask me about all these cryptos. And look, there's 2.4 million. Look right here. Coin market cap right here. 2.4 million cryptos. You think I can possibly keep up with 2.4 million cryptos? No. Can you keep up with 2.4 million cryptos? I probably can't keep up with more than a couple hundred, honestly. I do good to keep up with most of the stocks I keep up with, plus the cryptos I keep up with, plus, the little bit of Forex and futures that I keep up with. So it's incredibly difficult. Then there's 770 exchanges. Everybody's like, what's the best exchange? Depends on what you're doing. All right. This is a key point. I'm going through some of the basic stuff because I know some of you are new to this market right here, this crypto market, and you don't necessarily have your head wrapped around it. So exchanges, which exchange should you go get an account on? It really depends on what you're trying to trade. All right. Look down through here. This is the list of exchanges. All right. These are the top ones, biggest ones, best score according to CoinMarketCap, not according to JT. But look, the best one right here, rated, only has 414 coins out of the 2.4 million. So where do you go to trade them all? There's nowhere. Not a single exchange has anything close to, none of them even have over 10,000. This one has 2,000. That's a pretty wide swath right there. You have 3,600 pairs, and pairs are like, when they say markets, it's pairs. It's like Bitcoin dollar, Bitcoin euro. That's two different markets. All right. So Bitcoin yen, that's a different market. So when you see the number of markets, that's, fiat supported like euro, Great British pound, BRL, 8 more. So if they had Bitcoin euro, Bitcoin Great British pound, Brazil, Australian, Russian, Turkey, can't remember all my flags, but so all those, like if you had Bitcoin in each of these pairs, that right there is that many markets. All right. 8, 9, 10, like 11 markets. out of this list. And that's just Bitcoin. We're not even, you notice US dollars, blatantly missing out of the list there. So not all exchanges are available for US customers unless you go get like a citizen, an ID from another country. So you can do your KYC for other places. But I digress there beyond the scope of what I'm talking about this morning. So which one's the best? It depends on what you're doing. That's the bottom line. All right. Some of these Coinbase cover a fair chunk and mostly accessible in the United States. If you're in a place like New York State in the United States, you got extra regulations trying to protect you even more from yourself. I guess they think the citizens of New York State are idiots and don't know how to manage their own risk. So you've got extra protections, and not all U.S. exchanges support trading in New York. It's just a fact of life. And Gate.io, down here, fair amount of cryptos. All right. And my personal, I kind of like this crypto.com 347. Now, also notably absent, places like Tasty Trade aren't listed on here. Places like Robinhood, not listed on here. Places like Webull don't show up in this list. So those are other accessible places that you may have access to crypto. Depending on where you have your account, you'll have to check it out. There is no one place to do it all. There's no one-stop shop. So you got to be careful. All right. Nobody's out there protecting you from yourself and from the crypto market but you. Now, the U.S. passed FIT 21. Well, the House passed FIT 21 last week. We didn't get it all the way through yet. Senate could still squash it or quash it, and that adds some guardrails onto the crypto space, some guidelines for crypto companies to operate in the United States. We've kind of been the Wild West, and the SEC randomly picks people and slams them down and puts them out of business. That's a difficult environment to try to operate in if you're a company trying to do business when the government just, all of a sudden decides to put you out of business. So guide rails to operate in are kind of welcomed in the crypto space, but also they should be very careful, tread carefully. Overregulation is definitely rough on crypto. And it's, a lot of people have heard me say this, like right now, crypto is like 15 years old, almost 16. And, from the time Bitcoin white paper was written, and I hearken it to the days in the early 90s of the internet when it was, 15, 20 years old. And the way we used internet in the 90s, just kind of getting going. People had dial-up. A lot of people had dial-up. A lot of people would get on there. You didn't really know what to do with it. You couldn't really buy anything. You couldn't, very similar to crypto right now. You can't really buy much with crypto. You can't, you could get it and, you could do things with it, but, not a lot. This is very similar, very similar. And so if you look at from the 90s to now, 30 years later, the internet's completely different, right? There's not hardly anything in our lives that's not kind of sort of touched by the internet one way or another these days, unless you just, turn off all your digital devices and go outside. But, even then, the internet's flying by you, even if, from space and all over the place. SpaceX blasting it down. I mean, the internet's flying by you, even if you're outside away from everybody. Crypto's going to go through some sort of revolution over the next 20, 30 years. And it's not going to be anything like how we envision it today. Because the internet's completely different than I don't think any of us had a vision of how the internet would be used. Like, I'm sitting here talking to you over the internet. I mean, it's just crazy. So how is crypto going to evolve from here? I don't think any of us have a real honest clue of where the end game for crypto is going to be. And it may be completely different than the way it is now. The base concepts may be the same. There may be some of the players may still be the same. You look at internet companies, the .com boom, a lot of companies went away. A lot of companies that were small little startups in the 90s are now giant behemoths, and stuff like Google didn't even exist in the 90s. Facebook didn't even exist in the 90s, and they're major players. So there could be some up and comers in the next 20, 30 years that don't even exist today. So this is a difficult concept for a lot of people, but these things are important to kind of think about and reflect on, that we're in the middle of it. Like, it's hard to see the beginning or the end when you're in the middle. As they say, it's hard to see the forest for the trees. When you're in the middle, in the thick of it, it's hard to keep in mind the vision of where this all might be going. And over the weekend, somebody messaged me, and they were thinking, like, JT, what if the US dollar actually does fail? What do you think? I was like, well, Bitcoin and crypto is kind of a giant credit default swap against fiat failing, worldwide kind of. It's not just the US. Almost all the central banks are doing the same sort of thing and putting the entire worldwide economy into kind of a debt spiral situation. Everybody's trying to outdo each other with the liquidity that they're providing to the markets. And all it does, it creates false growth. But, false growth is great growth for those of us in it. And we don't, we can't step back and see the big picture. So it's, the more money in the system, the more money that is available, and the rich get richer. The poor stay poor. Zero still stays zero. It doesn't matter how high the top goes. Zero still stays zero. So the poor feel poorer, and some of us in the middle, get a break, and some of us don't. That's kind of, if you're there and able to take advantage of the money flowing in, and arguably, when we look back at the list, 1.3 trillion has flowed into something that didn't exist 15, 16 years ago. So $1.35 trillion has flowed into this. Well, you could say that it's probably 10% of that, creating demand. And then another $469 billion flowed into that one. The ratio between the two, you can see 52.5% on Bitcoin, 18.2% on Ethereum. And that right there represents right at 70% of the entire crypto market, right there in those top two. Is there opportunity to make money in the rest of the crypto market? The other 2.4 million? Sure. Things go crazy. So you got to be cognizant. Now, I have exposure on the top two. I lightened my exposure due to the potential ETF approval denial situation last week. They all got approved. My worry was unfounded. And here we are, about 20% off of all-time highs on Ethereum. Now, another up-and-comer, Solana back here. This one right here could actually provide, Bitcoin is limited on transactions. Ethereum is also limited on transactions. BNB, that's Binance's coin. Solana right here, number 5 on the list. Tether is it's what they call a stable coin. It's pinned to the dollar. That just seems absolutely ridiculous to be pinned to something that's, value is going towards zero, but, hey, it's got utility. Solana here has a high transaction rate. The only flaw I see is it doesn't have a cap in the number of coins available. They can do like 1 million transactions a second on Solana. Now, in comparison, that's like 2 orders of magnitude faster than Visa is able to do on transactions. Think about it. Visa worldwide, they're only in the 5 figures on their transaction capacity, the tens of thousands of transactions per second. Solana, on the other hand, can handle like 1 million transactions a second. That's the kind of thing that could be a worldwide transaction log. All right. So Solana also has the potential to go through kind of the sort of move we saw on Ethereum 2 halvings back. Now, it did pop here and it has retraced and it's working on this right here. it could be an opportunity. And this could go from the hundreds to the thousands. This could be one of the up and comers. All right. This is something I've kind of been developing this thought on in the last few weeks. So holding a few of these might play out in your favor. This does say the total supply is capped, but max supply is at infinity. So I'm not sure how that exactly works. But this one's interesting, okay? Other interesting cryptos of note. Rolling on down. Avalanche right here. If you've heard of FedNow, the US, as they call it, the USDC or whatever, this one right here, FedNow, is built on top of the Avalanche tech market. So that interbank exchange that the Fed runs, FedNow, it's built on Avalanche technology and runs on the Avalanche network. That one's interesting to me. Could that get bigger? Could they roll out a US-wide crypto that runs on Avalanche? Entirely possible, right? These are things to be aware of in the crypto space. And looking on down, this one, just a straight up meme coin going absolutely nuts. Absolutely nuts. Look at this. Now, during 30 Minutes of Awesome, I said something last week, and I think it might have upset a couple of people. I was, when you look at your crypto, and I'm trying to think of a good one to show off here. I think one of the ones near the end here. Let's see. And when your crypto is on a downtrend, right? You're breaking below the roadmap line. You're busting down. And you're underneath the roadmap line, churning, possibly dropping. Let's see. I'm trying to find the one in particular I was thinking of. Look at this one. Sitting at the lows, right? Crypto's arguably getting hot right now. Why do you want to chase something that's sitting here messing around, looking like a dumpster fire chart, when the two big dogs are doing this? They're launching off, right? Why would you chase a crypto that's not approaching all-time highs, including Doge? I mean, sure, it could be lagging, could pop. But if they're consolidating down here near the bottom, it's probably not a good sign. Solana trying to push higher. XRP not looking so hot. DOT sitting here. So there's a lot of cryptos that probably not going to do nearly the performance this cycle. Avalanche really struggling to break above the roadmap line. Matic, unfortunately, looks kind of lame here, but it may pop and make a lower high. It may find some resistance. Uniswap here, really struggling to get going at all. It does have a set of higher lows. It is above the roadmap line. So there's some positives in here, but there's some absolute just nasty charts. That one's consolidating under the roadmap line. So definitely take it in consideration here, especially when you've got things like this going absolutely stupid, insane higher. And this could go a lot higher. We could be talking about a move right on up here. 0.0001. I've got like 51 million of these, by the way. Just full disclosure. I mean, that could be like 600% higher just on that fib. And it's entirely possible it pops to that fib. 5,000% higher. That's still a lot of zeros in that coin. There's 420 trillion of these out there. What's the utility on it? Nothing, just hype. Absolute meme hype, all right? It's a whole joke coin, just like SHIB just like Doge. There's joke coins, but there's a lot of the joke coins are worth billions of dollars. It's like we jump back over and look. This one's made it up to number 19. It's got $7 billion tied up in it. Could it jump on up? Absolutely. It could jump up here and rival Doge. $24 billion. It could even ramp on up to 100 billion. That's how crazy can get. All right. Now, some of the other popular coins up here, you may be like, well, what do they do? Like Bitcoin Cash is what they call a fork of the code from Bitcoin back several years ago. And it's held in here basically it holds in at a multiple of Bitcoin. It's limited to it has the same supply limit as Bitcoin. And it's just a fork. It's much smaller. It's much less popular. And it runs on an older version of the protocol for Bitcoin. There's Ethereum Classic. This was a fork of Ethereum before the proof of work, proof of stake changeover that happened in 2022. And as you can see, it's not nearly as popular as Ethereum up here. It's like 2 orders of magnitude less popular. So there's some interesting things in here. I usually hang out just in the top 1 to 200. There's some AI coins in here that have AI utility. There's coins in here that run networks. There's, all sorts of things. A couple of the things I look at if I'm going to be in one long term, not just trying to catch a price move, like Bitcoin. I mine it. I'm in it long term. It has some utility. All right. If you look up a coin and they're talking about, this, that, and the other, and it's like one that I got to pull it up. See if I can find it. Ship chain, Starship. Let's see. There's a coin called Shipping that got listed on Coinbase. Trying to find it here. Not seeing it off the top of my... I know I have it on. Got it listed over here. Right here. SHPING. So this one right here, we're going to solve all shipping's problems, make sure the payments are secure, and we can issue NFTs and track shipments and this, that, and the other. And there was no way for customers to sign up and use this. Like, it had a great write-up on what they were going to do. But how do you use it? Like, that's a key. There we go. There's no way to actually use this for the functionality that they said. At least not any time I've ever looked it up. Now, maybe they've improved it now, but it's a complete farce. Like, it's eventually going to go probably to zero. All right? It's just not one of those things that's going to long-term make it unless they actually fix it. And another one was Helium Network. For the longest time, everybody's like, mine Helium, get on Helium. They were encouraging all these people to mine Helium and get on the Helium network, but you couldn't actually put a device on the Helium network, and use it. Like, where's the users? If you don't have a way for users to get on, this is a network built on crypto. If there was no way to put users on it, how is it ever going to survive? Now, more recently, Helium is starting to actually get some people on the network and provide a way to use it. But is it too little too late? I don't know. Like, can they make it? Can they make it? Can they get through? I mean, it's at $4 a coin right now. There's a fair amount of circulating supply, fully diluted, $927 million. And beyond trading, where's the utility? Yeah, it did peak up here at the hype, and it's kind of on a downtrend. So that's back to what I was saying before. You got to be careful with these things. If your crypto's looking like this, be careful and keep doing that. Even in the face of everything else being pretty rosy and awesome in the crypto market. Yeah, helium was up to $60 right there. So, got to be careful. Got to be careful chasing these things. All right. Now look at this is an interesting point right here. So this is total market cap, right? Right here. And let's go to a clean chart. Dun, 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 dun. Hit the wrong button. Pull this down to Crypto Power Plays. Stay secure. So look right here. Total market cap. This is TradingView's calculation, not anybody else's. Just total market cap by TradingView. They only list so many 100 cryptos, or 1,000 maybe. We're kind of banging around here. We haven't really made a new all-time high on total value of crypto, even though Bitcoin's made a new high. Now, if we take out Bitcoin, and that was in, $2.52 trillion. Now we take out Bitcoin, which has made an all-time high, and we look at it. We're a little bit further down. Right? Now, we take out Ethereum and Bitcoin. And what do we see? See the same basic chart. So, what's the point of that? It's that the two big dogs, the way they're, the ocean floats all the boats. The way Bitcoin and Ethereum are flowing, most of the rest of crypto's flowing that way. So if your crypto chart doesn't look kind of like this, when you zoom out and look at it, that's an indication there's a problem, all right? That the crypto you're trading maybe not gonna do so good, right? Maybe it's doing something different. Now, a fast way to look at a lot of cryptos, coin market cap right here has a handy dandy last 7-day chart. You can roll down through here. The ones that are stable coins just look flat. You can roll down through here, and coins that are obviously doing something different, like Tron, that's not looking like Bitcoin or Ethereum. Something else is going on there. ICP, something else is going on there. Even Litecoin, something else is going on there. We're kind of drifting down. So this is a very quick way to find coins that aren't doing so good. And also, on weekdays for Bitcoin and Ethereum, you can find stuff that's being strong. Now, do I think Avalanche is a good long-term crypto? I don't really hold an opinion either way. FedNow's running on it. It's probably going to be around for a while. FedNow they get in the FedNow experiment next week. What's it going to do to Avalanche? I don't know. Hard to say. Anyway, another thing to watch out for on cryptos, this gray bar. It's widely been spouted off that Bitcoin's limited to 21 million coins. Like, for those of you that don't know, the max supply of Bitcoin is 21 million Bitcoins. You think about it, there's a lot more than 21 million people on this planet. So if you're able to obtain a Bitcoin now, that's kind of rare. All right. If Bitcoin keeps getting bigger, having one whole Bitcoin, you've got 1/21 millionth of the entire supply. Right? That number is never going to climb, no matter what Warren Buffett says that, oh, they could just change the code and change the supply. That's not the way it works, and it's not going to happen. Every participant that runs the Bitcoin protocol has to agree to a code change like that, and it's just not going to ever happen. If you want to be a participant, you can go to bitcoin.org, download the software, run it yourself, and now you have a vote in what happens with Bitcoin. Now, stark contrast. The number 2 crypto right here has no max supply. There's a guy basically in charge, and we have to roll down here. We can see there was a quick link here. So the founder, this guy, Vitalik Buterin, right there, he's still basically whatever he wants to happen with crypto, with Ethereum, basically gets pushed through. He just decided and proposed a new change to the code base, and it wouldn't surprise me if the next year to maybe 2 years that major foundational change gets pushed through. He wanted to change it from proof of work to proof of stake. It happened. He pushed it through. He has huge influence over Ethereum. There's nothing like that in Bitcoin. All right. Right now, his thought is that they should burn more Ethereum than they create. It gets created every few minutes. Every time there's a new transaction authenticated, some gets created. They burn some every time a new transaction gets minted to the blockchain. And right now, the supply is slightly dwindling. That can all change. He can decide that the supply is limiting and they need to increase supply. Well, what happens when supply increases? Demand stays the same, prices drop. All right, right now, they're burning and increasing price by dropping supply. But if they change that, it can all change. So it's a fundamentally different thing with Ethereum than Bitcoin. Now, spot ETFs getting approved. Do you want to hold exposure into something that somebody just at their whim can decide to change the supply of? That's not the kind of thing that long term I want to try to find value in. So this is an important point to kind of, if you're going to be in these long term, to understand what it is that they're doing. All right, that goes back to the shipping and the helium. Long term, what are they doing? How do you use it? If you think it's going to be around for a while, I mean, sure, PP coin, Peppy coin, whatever, great. It's going to launch for a little while. When we get to some kind of crazy peak, you probably should get out because it's going to do like Doge did. If you don't know what Doge did, look at this. Let's roll back a little ways on a bigger time frame chart. Doge went from a lot of zeros and a one up to about 60 cents. Then it's retraced and it's down around 16 cents, and maybe it goes again, maybe it goes down. There's no supply limit to Doge either. There's about 10,000 of these hit the market every couple minutes. That supply of Doge just keeps growing and growing and growing. There's no limit. What's the utility on Doge? They call it the Everman's coin, but every few minutes, there's 10,000 more of them, and 10,000 more, and 10,000 more, and 10,000 more. It's infinite. There's going to keep being more. Roll down here to this one. It doesn't show a supply, but funny enough, it's 420.69. It's a kind of a joke, right? Joke coin, 420 trillion, 69 billion, 690 billion, but 420.69. a teenage boy joke, basically. So it's a joke coin. SHIB is also a joke coin because SHIB is a Doge killer. It's just a joke. But supply never stops on this one either. 589 trillion. There's more and more of these hit the market every couple of minutes. How does price ever climb in the long term? Probably not. It's probably going to zero as that supply approaches infinity. So there it all is. Rose is probably going to pop to an intermediate price. It's probably not going to, look at the performance of it. It's probably not going to be like the ultimate going to 1,000 type of coin. I never thought it was. Goes to $1, it'd be crazy. Rose USD. Probably only going about this zone right here, 35 cents. Probably all you could expect off of that. This did make a higher low. That does set it up to go retest resistance, about 35 cents. That'd be like 10x from where I got in. Everything's kind of like you gotta decide where you are. Now, a lot of people always want to know my thoughts on Mara. It's a long-term bullish play. This is back when they were a patent troll. Bad before they got into crypto mining. Somewhere right in here, they got into crypto mining. People thought that was a pretty bad idea. And then having happened, they rallied up hard, pretty strong. They retraced, found a low. This is a classic measured bounce setup. Now, for those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, it's a fib pattern where we rally up, we retrace to a 618, hold, and then get continuation. Now, on the small time frames, we've done it again and again on smaller and smaller time frames. That's nesting up the bullish pattern. This pattern, if it just played out right there, this one right here, this could take years to play out because it took years to form. We could be looking at something crazy, absolute crazy. Now, put it out of log mode, come back to reality just a little bit. The pattern doesn't look as clean and clear, but we could be just talking about 100 to 130. Could it happen in this cycle? It could. Could it happen all the way out in 28 cycle? It could. Could take that long. All right. You got to keep it in perspective. How long are you playing this? Are you playing this for weeks? Or are you playing it for the long game? Long game, being facetious there. You got to keep your time frame in perspective. If your plan is to capture the bigger move, you can't get concerned on what it does this week, next month. Could you play inside it? Sure. All right, but don't get caught up in what it's doing right the moment if you're looking for that bigger move. Everything in between is just, from your entry point to the exit point, everything in between is just chop. Now, if it breaks down below here, it doesn't look too good. But right now, that's a heck of a move up. We've already moved through the roadmap line. It found resistance, got through, retested. That's pretty strong on the weekly chart. All right. So we could be heading higher. Is it possible it fails out here? Meets the big picture, 618. I mean, that's where we're finding resistance. So if we find resistance here and it fails out, it's not too great, especially if we go lower low. Then it's probably game off. All right. We've already done the bullish thing though. Gotten some weekly closes above that 618. That kind of signals we're at least going up to this 117. How long could that take? Well, it could take out to next year. Easily. And that's just up to 120-ish. 170 could be possible. Could go absolutely crazy and go up to 500. And that's not even playing the measured bounce. That's just playing the regular roadmap line bounce. So other ones that might perform like that, I don't really have any. All right, CleanSpark is the only other one that I think might make it through the next crypto winter. I think a lot of mergers and acquisitions are going to come in the next crypto winter. When's the next crypto winter? Probably 26, 27. Look right here. This one's being weak. Just made a lower low on April 15th on the weekly chart. This one's not doing the strong stuff right here. It's not getting up, not staying above, not respecting the roadmap line on the weekly chart. Got concern. Now, small weekly trades, Riot may be fine. Big picture, it's showing something's going on. It's not being as strong. Something like MSTR, absolutely ridiculous, right? That's even crazier than Bitcoin's chart. And if you've heard me talk about this lately, it doesn't have a leveraged play on Bitcoin. This may experience an outsized retrace at some point. Maybe it keeps outperforming until we get to the next crypto winter. But then the next crypto winter could be really, really harsh. And if something happened to the visionary CEO who supports this, the new CEO could come in, sell all the Bitcoin, and just completely destroy the stock price. All right. Be careful. Be careful, be careful, be careful. All right. That's put the alcoholic monster up there. I drank the green apple one this morning. But green doesn't show up too great. So anyway. All right. Stay safe out there, everybody. I'm going to wrap it up here. I'll be back tomorrow morning. Same bad time, same bad channel, 9:15. We'll talk about what's actually moving in the markets. And before we go, if you want to know more about crypto, you want to get more involved in some of the stuff, I've got a special for you for Memorial Day. You can go watch this right here. It is a replay. Throw it in the chat right here. Link is also in the description. Click the more button down below. jeffreytrader.com/Memorial Day, Mem Day. Got a little special crypto for you. If you want to get more involved in crypto with me, go check it out. Otherwise, I'll see you later.